Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel and welcome to the rock album review for the 8th studio album from John Mayer. It's called Sob Rock. Sob Rock is the follow-up to 2017's The Search for Everything, and I'm actually a John Mayer fan. I know a lot of rock music fans, maybe the rock music fans that lean on the heavier side of things, might not be a huge fan of his because they consider him pop or lightweight or something like that. He is pop, but I don't think that's a bad thing because I like pop music as well. And I think he's a fantastic rock and blues musician when it comes to being a guitar player. He's a fantastic guitar player. I'm not saying he's just a good guitar player or a great guitar player. John Mayer is a fantastic guitar player. He is awesome. I just love listening to him shred. And he does more beyond just being kind of, your body is a wonderland. He plays with Dead and Company. So he's out there playing with the surviving members of the Grateful Dead. So they wouldn't have him on stage if he couldn't kick it with the Dead guys. And then he's done stuff at the Crossroads Festival with Eric Clapton. So as far as guitar players go, John Mayer is up there. I also consider him to be a great vocalist and a great songwriter. And yeah, I do like Your Body is a Wonderland. Okay, you can take that to the bank. I think that's a great song, and I like a lot of his past records. I think the last one I listened to, I don't think I've heard The Search for Everything, but the last one I listened to was Paradise Valley. That was a great record. I love Born and Raised. That album is fantastic. I love the songs on that record. Battle Studies, Continuum, Heavy Things. I like him a lot. I didn't love him when he initially came out. I remember when Room for Squares came out in 2001. And what was the song? I'm on Wikipedia right now while I'm doing this review. No Such Thing. When that song came out, I did not like that song at all. I thought it was horrible, so it took me some time to get used to John Mayer. But I love Your Body is a Wonderland. I love Wide Georgia. Those songs are great. So I was very much looking forward to the new release of Sob Rock. This album is great, but I'm sad to say there might be just a little bit too much Sob Rock. All right, so how I do it on these rock album reviews, I take the songs from the record, I put them into 2 columns. I put them in the plus column, which means the songs that I really liked, and the minus column, which are the ones that maybe just didn't jump out to me upon first listen. So the first song that we're going to put in the plus column is probably my favorite song on the record. I think it's the best song on this album. I don't think I like the songs as much as I like this one, and that is Last Train Home. Immediately sets the vibe and the tone for this album, because if you look at the album cover for Sob Rock, you're thinking, okay, this looks like John Mayer is going to be dabbling a little bit in 80s synth and maybe doing a little bit of retro vibes on this record, and he does with this song. It's 80s synths mixed with John Mayer's smooth as hell, beautiful guitar playing, and his awesome voice has got some Africa Toto vibes to it. Sets the tone for this whole record. The guitar tone on this song is crazy good. I love it. It just sounds like butter, man. It's amazing. Love the guest vocals from Maren Morris at the end. She comes in the last minute, 30 seconds of the song and adds some really fun backup vocals onto the end of this track. And this is definitely my favorite track from the record. Put in the plus column, Last Train Home is a definite plus. Another song that's going to go in the plus column, It Shouldn't Matter, But It Does. John Mayer knows how to write an acoustic ballad, and this song is another great entry into his canon of great acoustic ballad and love songs. There's a bunch of them on this record. He has such an easy voice to listen to. This was a very easy record to listen to. It didn't make me stressed out at all. It was very chill. I liked it a lot. I didn't think they would jump right to the acoustic ballad thing on track 2. I know the album's called Sob Rock, but I don't think, it should have gone directly into acoustic stuff. I would have liked to hear something a little bit more like the first track, which was called Last Train Home. I was going to call it Long Train Home, Last Train Home. So I wish that he kind of continued that vibe a little bit. Right after that first song, he settles into these acoustic ballads, and it stays there for the rest of the record. That doesn't mean the rest of the songs aren't good, but there is a definite vibe on this record that didn't quite go in the direction that I thought it was going to. But it is really cool. It reminds me of something that would be, on the Born and Raised record or something like that, or sound like on Shadow Days. That's what the song reminded me of. So going in the plus column, shouldn't matter, but it does. Then we get to a song called New Light. It kicks off with a really dancey beat, mixes the synths with more of an R&B feel on this song, which is really cool. Production continues to be really smooth and creamy on this record. Everything is mixing together. Like I said, John Mayer's guitar playing along with all the other instrumentation from his band on this record, it's like butter. It's just creamery, musical butter, which is awesome. Everything sounds amazingly focused. It sounds tight. It's awesome. I'm going to put New Light into the plus column. Also going in the plus column is a song called Wild Blue. It's nice. It's a bluesy little number. John Mayer is a great blues guitar player. He can do a lot of different things, but I would primarily consider him to be a blues guitar player in the vein of Stevie Ray Vaughan. I think that is a big influence on him. This one's really breezy, like most of the album. It's very breezy, really nice percussion. Guitar is really cool, and nice guitar, like I said, to be expected on a John Mayer album. Great vocals on this track too. He's got a great voice. I can see why a lot of the ladies love listening to John Mayer. So going into the plus column is Wild Blue. Also going into the plus column is a song called Shot in the Dark. Now, there might be just a little bit too much sob on this record, but I still like the song a lot. Anything that leads more into the synthy side of things on this record, I really, really enjoyed. Wonderful melody on this run, got really cooking at the end. And I hate when songs do that, you know, when you're listening to a song, even though the whole thing is really great, you love the whole song, but there might be something at the end, whether it be in the last 30 seconds or minute of the song where they hit a groove and then you're like, oh man, that's it. That's the groove. But you could just play that forever. I could listen to that forever. And then you hear the song fade out and you're like, ah, right. That's how it goes on this song. So I guess that can't be a bad thing if you're hitting a groove at the end of a song and a listener wants you to keep going. That can never be a bad thing when you're listening to a record. So going into the plus column is Shot in the Dark. Also going to the plus column, I guess I just feel like it's a good title. Really like the song. The lyrics are great. The acoustic and lead guitar combo is a winner on this one, as it is on most of the tracks. And a lot of these songs contain the same elements, but this one really hit home. You know, they're all very acoustic, ballad-driven love songs, but this one, I really enjoyed it. Lyrically, it hit home for me. It was really enjoyable. One of my faves on the record, along with the first track on the album, and almost had a little bit of a Pink Floyd vibe to it, you know, Wish You Were Here kind of vibe to it in spots. And you wouldn't really expect that from a John Mayer album, but there's a little bit of David Gilmour in his playing as well. You hear John Mayer play. He has that, you know, when I think of David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, he has a very stretchy guitar sound. It's just like, it's, again, I keep using that word buttery. I don't know why. It's not like you're running a stick of butter along the fretboard of the guitar. But when you think of Dave Gilmour from Pink Floyd, his sound is very smooth. It's very easy to listen to. There's a lot of really sweet bends that are happening. So I would put John Mayer into those categories as well. Really, again, love the outro on the song. Anytime he plays those sweet leads, man, this album shines. So I guess I just feel like it's going in the plus column. Then we get to a song called Till the Right One Comes. This one to me is just vintage John Mayer. You got the melody, you got the beat, the guitar with the synths. This feels like a song that we've heard from John Mayer a million times on all of his albums, but it's really well done. Like so many of the other tracks on this record, even though some of the melodies might not stick out to me on every track, every song is well performed and well produced. Really enjoyed Till the Right One Comes. And then the last song going to the plus column is All I Want Is to Be With You, another classic John Mayer love song. I know the ladies love him. He knows how to write a love song. He knows how to make the ladies putty in his hand. He's so good at that. It's a solid close of the record. Again, great guitar on this one. I did like it, and I thought it was a great end of the album. So the last song going into the minus column is All I Want Is to Be With You. And then there are a couple of songs that go into the minus column. As I was saying earlier on in the review, I wish there was a little bit more of that 80s synth retro vibe to this record, like on that first song, Last Train Home, because I feel like the album dips a little bit too much into sob rock, a little bit too much into those acoustic ballads, which is something that I know John Mayer was doing on purpose. He knows what he does. He knows how he writes his songs, and he knows, I think his whole last record was a breakup record. So he definitely knows how to write love songs and breakup songs. But Why You Know Love Me, it was a nice song, but it's going in the minus column. I think the chorus bothered me. He was like, why you no love me? Why you no love me? I don't know why he was pronouncing it like that, but it kind of bugged me. It was getting on my nerves. Didn't stick out to me. Good guitar solo on this one. Good slide guitar solo on this one, which was really enjoyable. But Why You No Love Me is going into the minus column. Carry Me Away also going into the minus column. It was a decent track, but again, it falls victim to the near the end of the album syndrome, where sometimes albums are very front loaded. I've said it on other reviews. Albums are very front loaded, and then you get to the end or near the end, and things just start to go down a little bit, or at least don't jump out to you as much. And a lot of albums do it. It just could be my own attention span, but sometimes I feel like a lot of albums are just putting a lot of the better songs up front and putting some of the filler in the back, which is not new for records, but Carry Me Away definitely follows into that category. And that is actually the only other song that I have in the minus column. So overall, I thought this was a really, really great record. John Mayer didn't go as far into the 80s synth pop territory on this record as I thought he would, or as was presented on the first track or first few tracks on the record. So I wish he had gone a little bit more into that direction. But again, he's a fantastic musician and songwriter. There's no doubt about that. Too much sob. I think that would be my main criticism of Sob Rock. And I'm a John Mayer fan. As I said earlier on in the record, I enjoy most of his albums. So it was a little bit too much sob for me. I think I lean more towards when he does blues and soul and R&B as opposed to more of that acoustic. I wouldn't call it country, but the acoustic balladry that he does. I'm not as big of a fan of that as I am of the soul and blues stuff that he does with his trio, or whether he do it with Dead and Company or at the Crossroads Festival. I enjoyed the blues side of John Mayer more so than the love side, but that is what this album is doing. He's going full on Sob Rock. It was more subdued than I expected. I could have used a little bit more groove, could have used a little bit more just general, I don't know, vibe to it, but that's okay. I enjoyed it. And if you're a John Mayer fan, I'm sure you're going to really like this. Or, if you just enjoy chill music with great melodies, then this is going to be a great record for you as well. So it's full of heartbreak songs. It's full of sob rock, just like it's advertised on the album cover. You get what you're told on the album cover. So we're going to give Sob Rock a solid 3 out of 5. All right, guys, that is my rock album review for the new album from John Mayer. Let me know what you thought of the record in the comments below. We'd really appreciate that. Hit the like button. We'd appreciate that as well. Subscribe to us here on the Rock Squad channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Me and my co-host, Dave Marini, he's also my bandmate and my good friend. We do a Rock Squad podcast here on the channel every week where we talk about the latest in rock music news, reviews, and discussions. So if you love rock, come join us here every week for the Rock Squad podcast, and keep your eyes peeled for more rock album reviews here on the channel, including one that's already up there for the Wallflowers, Exit Wounds, which if you're a John Mayer fan, if you're a fan of great acoustic, lush roots rock music, blues music, the new Wallflowers record is highly recommended. So check out the rock album review for that. And I have one on the channel this weekend for the new Waves album called Hideaway. So you can check that out as well. Follow us on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Rock Squad Pod. And we'll see you guys again for another rock album review. Rock on.